Today we are going to learn more about deploying of projects. So far the deploying that we were doing already was more sort of kind of manual deploying, and it is sometimes tough if you are working with a lot of people that you can give them access. So most of the people are going with this term called as CI/CD, which stands for continuous integration and continuous deployment. And today's session we will see actually what the hell the CD anyways is, and that would actually help us understand how we can scale our projects, automatically deploy them on board, and do things like that. So there is a proper difference between CI and CD. I won't go too much deep into CI, continuous integration, because that involves a lot of test mechanism. That is a total separate DevOps course that I can take, a very good one, and everybody should know CI, of course. But CD is something that everybody can know for their small personal projects. They can create a system in which they can have an automatic deploy, or maybe just a small effort deploy, but on major hosting providers. So we'll learn about that process today. So yeah, it's me, Aman. So today's agenda is to understand what continuous deployment actually means, and then today we'll be covering up two main continuous deployment platforms, Firebase and Netlify. You can almost set up continuous deployment with any server today. So I would actually go one step further, and also will show you how you can have a continuous deploy using cPanel, the most favorite or the most favored platform to host content. So I'll also show you, which is not covered in this slides, but I will show you how you can do that. So with that, first of all, let's understand what continuous deployment means. So continuous deployment, maybe it can be said a process, it can be said a step. So basically with the evolution of web applications, it has made it very much possible to ship the product that a software person is creating very soon. So before that, you have to kind of wait for 1 month to release a software patch, then people will actually download that software patch, and then the software application was updated. But now most of the applications are web apps. Most of the things that we used to do, like using Teams or doing anything else, is a web app now. And you don't need to click on update option anymore. Everything is updated on the fly as soon as someone just pushes a new code on their website. So that has brought the software development cycle down to something like 10 days, 15 days. In Quimbit, we are following a continuous deployment program of 15 days. So every 15 days, we update our program to have new features, whether in backend or in front end. And all our products almost have a 15 days release program. And thanks to continuous deployment, these tools and everything, that has made it possible. So, but in continuous deployment, you cannot just ship anything. So that code should be compatible with the devices, that should be compatible with the existing code base. Plus it goes deeper into like doing some kind of cache clearing if your application is a PWA. So there needs to be this kind of cache flush before you actually push the code. So changing of version. So there are a lot of things that are involved in continuous deployment. So these are the main things that we actually do. First of all is the builds part. Build is converting your dynamic code into a static one so that it can be deployed. Then you also do some kind of testing so that it's compatible with all browser devices. Acceptance test, usually these are written so that your backend code is actually compatible. Then you have deploy to staging before actually deploying it to production, just to see if it looks everything is fine. So we deploy it to staging first. Staging is a one step before you actually deploy your application. So something like when you learn to ride bicycle, before you were given wheels so that you have a support. So just like that, firstly we deploy an application in a closed environment, like with exactly same configuration as a production build, but we test it out with limited number of people. If it works well in staging, then we push it to production, and then we monitor all these changes. So all this process made together continuous deployment, and today we'll learn about these tools that make the continuous deployment process happen. So the most easiest so far that I have found to work with the continuous deployment process has been the Firebase. So Firebase provides a couple of different implementations, such as database, Firebase Analytics, Firebase Hosting. The one that we are going to use today is called Firebase Hosting, and Firebase Hosting is a static hosting, which helps us to deploy anything with the CLI or maybe continuous deployment using package.json build file. And we'll learn about how you can actually deploy that. So it actually, this is a like I think screenshot we pulled up from their website, which they promise that they have different applications for every kind of audience. You can help, it can help you build better apps, improve the app quality, and also grow your engagement and users. So today we'll be using the hosting part I think you can also use cloud functions to deploy using cloud, and then you have cloud storage. The difference between hosting and like cloud storage or cloud function is that hosting is a static hosting and cloud function is a dynamic. And you know what is the difference between dynamic and static hosting now? That dynamic needs a runtime environment, but static hosting doesn't need a runtime environment. And then you can attach your hosting with the performance analytics, and you can directly measure if your like static hosting or whatever app you have deployed is working properly. You can also monitor analytics. I would also show you a small demonstration of how Twimbit analytics works and how we measure our things. And you can also do A/B testing, which is a sort of staging. Again, you test a feature between two different people first before deploying it to the actual platform. And the main reason to upload Firebase is because most probably you will be liking to have SPA single page applications, which works like a native app as a web app. So Firebase is a very good platform to host a single page application because of its inbuilt configuration and acceptance for single page applications. So it works promisingly amazing, and we'll see about that in today's session. So this code lab is the best way to actually get to know more about Firebase and Stack Blitz like things. So I actually don't want to push into that thing because Firebase is itself a complete different topic which can take time. But if you're interested in learning more, I will be attaching the link to the presentation. We'll be distributing the presentation to you, and also you can visit this like link and you can find yourself how you can do the Firebase hosting. So before proceeding to Netlify, let me show you a small demonstration of how you can proceed with a Firebase hosting. So I know that you cannot see my screen clearly, so I would be dictating all my steps. There is nothing much that you actually need to know about the command lines and all that thing. So I would be just giving you out a brief kind of look over of how the things look like. So I have just set up an empty directory which is called test. And now what I'm going to do, that I'm going to create a folder that is named as build. So you need to have a folder which will be decided to deploy the things when you are deploying it on Firebase hosting. So everything that is inside this folder will be deployed. So let's go ahead and create a new index.html file, HTML5 file, and name it index. Okay. Now I would be writing a pretty stupid hello world code, obviously. H1 line and writing hello world, nothing special. So I would just save this. And now what I'll do, I'll go to my CLI. I will type Firebase in it. Now for Firebase to work in your CLI, you have to firstly install Firebase in your system. And the command is to install it is simply npm i Firebase. So there is a npm package that install Firebase on the go. And I won't do that because I already have installed my Firebase over here. And I would just go ahead and install, sorry. So I'll just run Firebase in it. So this is the first command that you actually need to use. Firebase init. So what this actually does, it initiates all the processes, and you will see this cool Firebase kind of thing as a launching screen. And it would say you are about to initialize Firebase project in this directory. I will say yes. And now it will say which service I want to use. So for this, we are using hostings. Don't forget about this. Hosting is the thing that we use. So I'll choose hosting using the spacebar and click on enter. Now it is saying, please select an option to use an existing project or create a new project. I would click on create a new project. And if you want to create a project in cloud, please specify a unique project ID, cannot be modified afterwards. So I would need to actually provide a unique ID, which will actually become the web address of my current application. So let's name it mobile web -dev -test. I hope this is unique. Okay, what would you like to call your project? So I would just call it test. So now it is creating this project for me, and now this service is directly talking with my Firebase. For the first time when you launch Firebase, it will also let you log into your Firebase account so that it knows that where it has to deploy. Parallelly, let's go to my web browser. Where is my web browser? My web browser is not open. Okay, I would just quickly go inside Firebase.
Yeah, Aman, can you just tell us what is the service that you mentioned? The service is talking. So what are you referring to when you say service?
So the Firebase, this thing that is running inside the CLI, it's talking directly with the Firebase online client. Okay. So now our project is initiated, and you can see the project information is labeled over here with project ID and project name. Now it is asking me, what do you want to use as your public directory? Now public directory is the directory that gets deployed. So we created the name build. So we will name it build over here. You can name the directory anything, but build is generally the name that Angular or React application creates when it builds something. So let's name it build. Configure as a single page application, write all URLs to index.html. So this is the best part, that you can actually write all URLs to index.html. But in our case, this is not a single page application. So we'll just do no in over here. So file index dot already exists. Do you want to overwrite? No, we don't want to overwrite because there is a code over there. So Firebase initializing complete. Now we have initialized the Firebase file. Now we'll go ahead and click on Firebase deploy. And Firebase deploy command deploys all our code inside build folder into Firebase. Okay. Same time, let's go to my console. I think this is the user account that I generally used for Firebase hosting. Go to console. Yeah, and Firebase is totally free, so you can definitely use it for your small projects. We at Twimbit use Firebase extensively for text application and all that. Yeah, so you can see that there is this test project that I just created over here, and the hosting of this thing is working, and it is already saying that I have deployed something. So the thing that we just created is not deployed. We will go to this URL which Firebase has provided us. Yeah, for the first time. Yeah, now you can see my Hello World project is deployed. Now you'll be wondering, like, what if I want to use my custom domain? So you remember yesterday we learned about CNAME records. So that is what you have to do over here. You have to go ahead and click on add custom name. You have to name whatever domain you want to do, such as let's write mobile.dev, something like this, and click on continue. It will ask you to verify the ownership, and to verify the ownership you have to add the txt record. For txt, for verification purposes, we use txt records, and it will give you a record. You just need to copy this record and paste it inside your DNS server. Okay, and then the steps are same. This is the txt record that you have to copy, and then it will say to go live. Then you have to copy the CNAME. So these are pretty much easy steps. So now you have seen how much easy it is to deploy a thing with CI/CD. And for example, you just go ahead and did some kind of small minor update in your application. Hello world, and let's write h2. This is so stupid. So save it up. And let's go to Firebase deploy again. Just enter and hit this command. So now our new code is getting deployed online, and it knows that there are only 2 files that were updated. Releasing new version. So the releasing new version automatically deletes the old cache also from your CDN. So now you see that this is stupid. This is also deployed. So this is so easy to actually deploy a application rather than going inside the FTP or going inside the cPanel and logging in and uploading your files, right? So this is a friendly practice that you can use. The only drawback, you can only host static projects. If I do some kind of Node.js or PHP, it won't actually run on here. So a pretty good example of what you can do with Firebase hosting, and that's it. So, and you can obviously go inside this portion that is called the release history, and you can see what were the different releases that you did over time. And if you want to quickly go and roll back this release, you can do that too. So that's also a very easy things to do. So the number of deploy that you do are actually listed over here in the release history. So that's it. That's what you have to do. You have to firstly go and install Firebase. Then you have to do Firebase init. This will help you log in inside your Firebase, also initialize your project. Then choose the hosting and configuration for your project, and then hit Firebase deploy when you are ready. Everything that is inside your build directory will be getting deployed. That's easy and simple. Cool. Any questions related to this? Okay, let's go ahead. So next hosting that is also popular these days is called Netlify, most probably with the Jamstack projects. So now I will actually show you how you can have automatic CI/CD and how you can set up a small portfolio website using Jamstack, and that would actually leverage the automatic continuous integration and continuous deployment. So again, Netlify is an all-in-one hosting platform. It probably runs Node.js as its hosting environment. You can host dynamic application too over there, and it's also free at some extent. Some of these features may be paid at some point, but most of these features are free, and you can use Netlify also. Again, you can put your custom domain. It provides you a free of cost domain. So that's a very nice handy feature. So what Netlify does is that whatever we code, maybe it's getting from Apollo or Forestry, anywhere that you are writing your files can be HTML markup, or it can be markdown, anything. Then GitHub is storing that code, and then a build project like Gatsby or GitHub Pages, anything like that, Jekyll, is converting your markdown code into HTML files, and that process is called static site generation. That is what static site generators are, and that is why we call them Jamstack. I don't know why they called it Jam, But that is the overall theory. You convert a markdown or markup into static generated HTML files, and they can be deployed on any static hosting, and that is what it does. So we are writing our UI code. We are also writing our API code, which is our files. It is getting stored on GitHub, which is our code repository. Then using CD, continuous deployment, our GitHub code is getting on Netlify, and then Netlify is updating the code and storing it on CD and also on AWS Lambda. Because Netlify itself runs on AWS, so that's the thing. So this process is CI over here. This is CD. This is a normal hosting application. So this is again very automated and very efficient process. So let's see. Oh, you got a congratulations already, but we have to do this project now. So let's go ahead in my browser again. And for this, I will be using a bootstrap way of deploying an application that is called StackBit. So StackBit will help me configure everything and connect all my dots together for releasing a new web application. So let's imagine we are going to build a honor page, a wall of honor for all the students that attended our web hosting project today. And that needs to be a continuous deploying project. So as soon as we add a new name, that gets published automatically inside our wall of honor. Interesting. So let's go ahead and sign in into this thing. Again, StackBit is a bootstrap way of doing this. You can do this on your own using your own code and things like that. So I would just go ahead and log in with my GitHub account. I already have 2 projects, but I'll go ahead and create a new project. Okay, so first of all, let's select a theme. So this theme that we are talking about is developed by StackBit, and these themes can be utilized with any static site generator like Gatsby and anything that you want. So let's go ahead and choose this one, ampersand. I don't know how this is, but let's go. Let's choose a static site generator. So yes, this is the important part that you need to choose. And now we need to choose for a headless CMS. Wait, they don't have a forestry these days. Interesting. Yeah, so we can change it. So we'll go with forestry. Forestry is an easy way to write down markdown in a very code-friendly manner. And for a static site generator, we'll use Gatsby, and for repository, we'll use GitHub. Okay, let's name the project as Mobile Web Honor. I hope it's unique enough. And let's go ahead and click on Create Site. So now it is what it is doing. It is doing all the steps for us, and writing down a basic access token for creation is missing. Why it is like that? Wait, let me see if my forestry account is connected. Yeah, it is connected. Access token for creation. There's some issue with this forestry maybe. So let me just go ahead and just see an existing project that works with forestry in our case. So this is my personal blog over here. And instead of deploying the whole project, I would actually show you a small demonstration that what happens when I update something inside my forestry. So right now, this is our website, amansharma.dev, which I deploy using CI/CD. And what I will do, I will release a new post over here, which will come on top, and it would say something like, I enjoy doing open source contribution, let's say. So I will go inside my forestry account. Forestry is a free tool to manage your GitHub repository and easily manage the content on your GitHub repository. And at the same time, I will also open my own GitHub repository to show you that how these changes are actually happening. So let's go to Aman portfolio. Yeah, this is the one. Yeah, and right now you can see the last commit is on April 13, and we'll do a commit using forestry, and that will automatically deploy. And for the sake of transparency, let's go ahead and also open my Netlify. Log into my Netlify. Yeah, this is my website, and these are the deploys. Okay, so theoretically, what is going to happen that I'm going to make a change in my forestry. That change is going to go into my my personal GitHub repository. Now Netlify will pull that GitHub repository and build the files and deploy it. And the function that we are using to deploy the file over here is all these functions that script actually needs to run are inside package.json. So we are using Gatsby. So Gatsby uses two commands that are Gatsby build and Gatsby serve. So Gatsby build is to build files from Markdown content to HTML, and Gatsby serve is the command to deploy the application. And how our Netlify actually knows that is that because we have configured this repository for Netlify. If you go into build and deploy, you'll be able to see that we have configured the master command, and you can go inside the build settings. You can see that what are the directories that have to work on here. I'm trying to find something that can show you that what are the build commands. Let's go ahead and create a new post inside my forestry. Create new post. So it provides you a very easy, nice looking, easy interface, and you don't need to write your own Markdown. It writes the Markdown for you. So I will go ahead and write the title. I like open source. Something is missing. I would need to add a date, and I will mark today's date over here. And let's go ahead and write something. Hello world. It's amazing to be in open source community. And let's go ahead and increase the font. Now, if you are writing your own Markdown, you know you have to use ###. But with this editor, you can write your own Markdown. And if you want to see how that Markdown actually looks like, you can go back to the editor, raw editor view. You will be able to see all the Markdown ready for that. So in WYSIWYG editor, we are back with our notepad file. Also, let's go ahead and add a photo that I just clicked for you guys. Yes, this looks amazing. Okay, and also let's add an alternative featured image, and also add an image over here. See all the potential it got. And remember, we are doing this without writing a single line of code. This is all like a normal WYSIWYG editor. Now what I will do, I will hit the save button. Now this is where the magic happens. As soon as I hit the save button, it will generate a new commit for me. Now you can see there is a new commit, 208 commits. And you can see that this commit is just done today. One is 29 seconds ago, which is when we actually created the file. And one is now when we actually saved the file. And when we will go inside our Netlify, it will start deploying our new project. Now you can see this is the new project it is deploying. Firstly, it will build this one, then it will build this one. So this is a step process. Our Netlify automatically fetches the new commit and it automatically starts building the project. So let's go ahead and see what is the deploy log. This exactly looks like how your CLI will do that. So it is running our commands for us. So you remember Gatsby build was the command to build the file. So it used this command Gatsby build. And these are all the CLI operations. And the last step is Gatsby serve. So let's see it will do this Gatsby serve or not. Maybe, yeah, I think the build will be automatic. So just to quickly recap what is happening over here. Firstly, we created a new repository inside GitHub and we wrote all the code that we need to write in order to make our website. Then we pulled that repository inside Forestry and told Forestry, okay, if I click on this button, this is the file that you have to edit. If I click on this page, this is the file that you have to edit. And we defined all the configuration inside Forestry. And then when we hit the new commit, the Forestry commits things for us. So if I go in code, go in commit, you can see Forestry is writing commits for us. Aman in Tech authored and Forestry.io committed. Aman in Tech was the author and Forestry.io was the committer over here. So as soon as a new commit is detected in master, Netlify pulls that code and automatically deploys all the code from the build folder to the deploying. And my website is live. That is how easy it is. Yeah, let's log in using GitHub. Okay, weird. Okay, now it's logged in. Let's connect our Forestry again. Authorize. Okay, and let's try to create the website now. delete these stupid old ones. Also this one. Cool, new project. This theme. Change the headless CMS to forestry. Change the project name to mobile web owner. Something like this. Create site. Yep, I think it worked. So I just refresh the permissions. You won't face the similar issue. So now our content is uploading to forestry. This will automatically create a new GitHub repository for me also. Let's go ahead and see inside my repository if there is a new repository that it has created. Not till now. Let's wait. My sites. Okay, it has generated our website, and this is the real-time preview over here. I can edit in this, and soon it will also show him GitHub repo transfer initiated. Check your email to accept ownership. So yeah, I need to go inside my email and accept this thing about. So what it does, it creates the repository and code firstly inside its temporary repository, and then it's transferred the repository rights to us. But the finished project is everything is set up for you with CI/CD, so that you just need to hit the like deploy command and that's done. So I think this is not my GitHub account. This one is. Yeah. So GitHub transfer repository, mobile web owner. Yep. To accept transfer, visit this link. I accept it. Yeah. Now we have access to this repository. How can I verify it? I'll just go inside my repositories. Yeah, now we have that repository. Forestry and Stackbit projects had configured this repository, and our site is deployed. Let's see, switch to live site. Yeah, so Netlify provides us with a sample domain name like mobilewebowner.netlify.app. You can add your own custom domain again by going into the Netlify settings. So let's go back to overview, and I should be able to see my new site. Yep, so here it is, mobile web owner. This is how you can do it, and this is successfully you have deployed your application. Similar thing if you want to do in the cPanel part. So you remember when I was telling you about cPanel, I also showed you something that is GitHub account access inside cPanel. So we can use the GitHub account access in order to automatically deploy our GitHub repository. For that, when you log in inside your cPanel, just go inside Git version control, create a new version control. Now you have to write the URL, GitHub URL of that repository that you are cloning, and then you have to add the repository path where you actually want to deploy your files, and then you have to add the repository name, the name of repository. This is not like mandatory thing, but you just like if you want to save it for some purposes. Now, if it has some kind of authentication, like a two-factor SSH authentication, so it would ask for those steps and things like that. But overall theory, it will work automatically. So right now we have our Twimbit story that goes somewhere around company.twimbit.com/story. So this code of this story is actually on GitHub, but it is deployed on our cPanel server. So what happens is whenever I do a new commit, it will automatically pull the code from my GitHub repository and deploy it on this server. So you can do CI/CD on cPanel also using the Git version control method. So with that, what we learned today, first of all, we learned about Firebase hosting, how you can do. First of all, we learned about what is continuous deployment, how you can easily deploy a project without copy pasting or uploading anything anywhere. Then we learned about Firebase, how you can easily deploy something on Firebase using just CLI. Then we saw a live example how Firebase CLI works and how you deploy your example project on web. And then fourth one, we saw how you can do it with Netlify, the whole CI/CD project, which automatically does commits for you, integrates the code inside the master, and then deploys all the code on Netlify project. And at last, we saw how we can do the same things with Cpan. So with this is the end of today's session.